Hey guys, so in today's training video, what I'm gonna cover is the Empire Organic Machine Building. What does that mean? A lot of people tell you strategies on how to get clients, but if you are unclear on how you want to build out your own business as an agency, as a coach, as a consultant, then whatever strategy you decide to go is not gonna work because there's no one strategy that works. As opposed to, especially in these times that we've come through, the market has a high level of sophistication. So you're gonna need multiple channels working together because each channel has its own pros and cons. So let's dive in. Let's dive into the sauce. So first off, you want to start out with the first pillar, which is identifying how do you want your business to be structured and what's the goal that you want to achieve and what's the time frame. So for example, you decide you want to hit $20,000 in like new revenue per month and you want to be able to do it in 90 days. Okay, so that's the first step. Now what you want to decide is, how does your team look? What are the areas that you want to hire for, and how much money is each talent gonna cost you? Because your team is an investment and you want to be able to tie the goals of the company to the goals of each individual that you want to onboard into the team. So for example, for me, for ASA, what we have is we have a chief of staff, we have a systems integrator, we have an editor, a setting manager, a VA, and prospector. And then we have setters, closers, and we also have contractors, business partners, different expenses, software, tools. You want to be able to map out everything, how it's going to look, how much profit margins you're going to have, how much revenue you're going to have, how much expenses you're going to have. Because if you just optimize for, I want to make that amount of money, and then you're paying like 90% of that, then you don't have a business. So you want to get clear on all of this. Once you map it out, you got to understand each person's compensation structure. How much value do they bring to the table? What are their value to your business specifically, because each business is different. And once you do that, you're going to be able to relate their goals to the company's goals. And then each and every one of them is going to be working towards achieving that goal, because that means achieving their own personal goals. So that means if someone wants to make 1.5K a month as a chief of staff, for example, which is very low, I'm just giving an example, but you tell him that for you to be able to make this amount of money a month, the company needs to be at X amount of money. And that way you're actually involving them in the process of growing the business. So that's step one. Step two is basically identifying what's your company culture, what are the the values that you want these people to have on your team, and what are the values that you need to install in yourself to be able to run the team the right way. So for us, most important aspect of all the business is the internal processes, which is the business is divided into three categories: people, product, and process. What do I mean by that? Product and process are created by people and are run by people and are optimized by people. Obviously, you can put AI and automations, but people are still running the systems. They are utilizing the AI. The AI is not running the business. So the most important aspect, the first pillar, is people. Then product, you got to make sure you have a good product. And then you got to make sure you have a good process for everything else. For production, for fulfillment, for marketing, for sales, you got to have a good process. So the first value that we have is communication. And I tell people that if there's no communication internally, there's no external communication if we don't know how to communicate with each other. So our value specifically is communication first and foremost. Then we have accountability. Each person must be accountable to his own self, and we need to hold each other accountable, because if you don't have someone holding you accountable, you're not going to do what's required. Third thing is clarity. If you're unclear on where you're going to be going in too many different directions, you're going to be lost. And it's very easy. We have monkey minds as humans. We're not going to focus. So lack of clarity means lack of focus. Lack of focus means lack of progress, lack of action. And you're not going to get momentum with lack of action. Number four is repetition of successful actions. We tend to switch from strategy to method, as opposed to, okay, what worked before? How can I repeat that? And that's where the process comes in. Once you do something and it's successful, you want to have a process to repeat that. That's step four. Step five is actually removing unsuccessful actions. What means if something doesn't work over and over and over, stop doing it. Something's useless, doesn't move the needle, remove it. So understanding what to do and what not to do are equally important. Number six is asking for help and support. We get stuck on our own, and if we don't ask for help, we're going to stay stuck, because no one can do anything on their own. So from team members up to the CEO, we all must ask for help and support. Number seven is being creative and coming up with new ideas and solutions. All right? That's what you want to instill into your team, because if you're the only one who's coming up with new ideas and solutions, most of the time they're not going to be great. You might have a couple of good ideas, but the rest, you're going to be sabotaging the business. So you'd be surprised how much creative and how many good solutions your team might be able to help you come up with. And then number 8 is actually believing in the vision and in each other and in your own abilities. That's what I tell my team members. They have to believe in the vision, they have to believe in each other, and they have to believe in themselves first, in their own abilities. Without that, without belief, there's nothing. Like, they're just aimlessly staying on the team. Without belief, there's nothing. So number 9 is actually working as a team, not as separate entities, and that's why communication is very important, accountability is very important, clarity is very important, and every one of these holds all of the behind it. So every time you go down, each one of the values contains all of the ones behind it. All right? Those compound into creating the next value and the next value and the next value. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 10 for us, it's basically updating Discord on a daily basis for clear tracking and updates. Number 11, it's self-responsibility and standards. What are we accepting from ourselves? That's something to think about. What are you accepting from yourself and from the ones around you? What are you tolerating? What's the standard? What's the minimum thing that we should do every single day? And then if there's a problem, how fast can we solve it? That's the standard. And that's self-responsibility. If I give you a task, you're responsible for that task. I expect it to get done. Number 12 is activeness and responsiveness, because we go back to communication. If someone goes or MIA, there's no communication, or accountability, there's no clarity. So the business stops. And that's why activeness and responsiveness requires self-responsibility and standards and everything else behind it. All right. Number 13 is duty and responsibility towards each other and the company, because you have a duty towards your team members, and they have a duty towards each other and towards the company and towards you. So duty and responsibility, we need to hold that at a very high regard, because we all win together and we lose together. And so by one person not adhering to the company standards and doing their jobs, they're costing us all money, time and effort and success. So we have to earn our money by trusting the process first, trusting each other first, and trusting ourselves to get things done day in and day out. So this is for us. I recommend you map this out for your own business. Could be similar values, could be not. But yeah, let's dive into the organic machine. It's very simple, and it basically has 2 main components, which is outreach and content. So let's dive into outreach. Okay, let's go. So this is our system currently. This is what we're doing, right? Now, you gotta decide which channel you're doing outreach on, but mainly it's Facebook or IG. What you wanna do first is have a way of finding targeted leads of ideal client profiles. You don't wanna reach out to just about anyone who's not your ideal profile. So if you're starting out with no money, no ads, not a way to generate leads, you wanna be able to generate them manually, or at least semi-automatically in a sense. And you need to be clear on who they are, where they are, and that comes down to market research. Once you do that, you're gonna be able to find them. Now, once you find them, we wanna do cold outreach on IG or FB, it just depends. Obviously, you're gonna have your main account and a secondary account. Those are the ones personal to you as the founder, as the face of the business. And then you're gonna have 4 outreach accounts. And you're gonna have 3 setters. 1 main setter, 2 others, and each setter handles 2 accounts. So with that math, with that structure, boom, okay. Each setter must send 100 DMs a day, so 50 DMs per account. And that's after ramp up. That's after the accounts are warmed up. You're not gonna get restricted and all of that. That's the KPIs that you wanna aim for, all right? Especially if you're doing cold outreach, especially in the beginning. So 100 DMs a day per setter, that means 300 DMs a day. 300 outreaches a day, boom, amazing number. Let me calculate that. 300, let's say you're doing outreach 25 days a month, that's 7,500 outreaches, which is amazing. You know, big number. And then openers can be automated with a software, or you can get a VA to send openers, or the sellers can do them themselves. That's easy. Now, the industry average of 5 to 10% conversation response, conservative response rate as a start, but always aim to increase it. So with 300 DMs a day, we should expect at least 15 to 30 quality conversations to talk to, people to talk to, responding to us. And then with a minimum of 20% booking rate, we should be able to book 1 to 5 calls a day. This is after ramp up period. Sorry. And please make sure that for you to be able to book, you need to have a conversion process. So the first aspect of outreach is the opener. It's getting a response rate, right? Getting people to respond. That's the first step. The conversion process is completely different. So if you can get someone to respond, but you cannot convert them into a call or into watching a resource, a free resource, then you're not good at conversion. And that's why you have to track your numbers, because if you track your numbers, you're gonna be able to identify, okay, we have this amount of people responding, but we're unable to convert. Okay, so now we know there's a problem with the conversion process. Now we look at the conversations we're having. So that's how you want to go about it, all right? And obviously it's going to need volumes. That's why most people don't succeed with it, because it's going to need volumes before you become good at it. There's no magical script that will allow you to magically book calls. It doesn't work that way. You need to actually understand humans. So to give you a rundown before the system ends, we have a target KPIs table for warm and for cold. So you see 100 outreaches a day per setter, 10% response rate, 5% qualification rate, bookings requested 2 to 5%, and then 1 to 3% booking rate. This is the average that you should aim for, which is very easy. Then you want to make sure that you have clear SOPs and frameworks and outreach resources, and understand the user of each one and how to find them and improve the process efficiency. Before you hire any setters, you gotta have those yourself personally, because if you expect setters to take care of that, that's not gonna happen. You gotta have those in place, and then you're gonna be able to hire and train the setters on all of this. Now, obviously in another video, I have one going over setting management, frameworks, all of that. But in this video, this is the general outlook of the system, how it looks. And for me personally, what I set with my setters is daily communication through chat needs to be ongoing for updates, requests, and clear line of communication between all parties involved to keep each other informed. At least 1 to 2 calls a day to shadow outreach, respond to the apps together, get feedback on conversations, new insights. You need clear tracking and analysis of the numbers and KPIs to understand what's broken in the process. So you need a clear tracking process, a sheet, a CRM, whatever it is. You need to also encourage your team to share what they need from each other and what are the daily struggles and what do they think should take place and why. Now, those are standards for you to have an optimization and have a good team culture to be able to get results. Now, rules to follow when doing outreach. All accounts must be optimized for outreach and set up as a funnel, because whenever you talk to someone, they're gonna check your account. So they need to be optimized at all times. Each setter should have access to 2 accounts. Each setter should track their own KPIs and CRM sheets on a daily and send end-of-day reports. And tracking gives us data to improve the process, make changes, and make their lives easier. That's why you want to communicate. Daily communication, start of shift, middle, end of shift, is detrimental for keeping the team updated. They gotta ask questions, ask for help, and be curious to learn and improve every single day. They gotta enjoy the process, be hungry, and understand their craft, because this is not an easy process. That's why you want to explain to them. Or it's not for weak-minded individuals. So you gotta make sure to, like, your sellers, your team members, they have to understand the brand, the offer, and the ideal client profile and target audience. They have to study all of these sales assets that you have, all of the resources that you have that are at their disposal, so they can use them to their advantage. And they have to understand how to leverage content to their advantage by sending specific VSLs, sales assets, or free trainings. See, any type of outreach conversation needs to be following the 4 concepts. It needs to be highly personalized, it needs to be concise, and it needs to sell a meeting or a free resource, not an offer. And 4, it needs to incentivize a response. Follow these 4 concepts, you're gonna be successful with outreach. Because first off, everyone's just blasting out copy-paste DMs. So if you become highly personalized and show that you've put effort into it, then people are gonna respond to you, because this is a human interaction. It needs to be concise. No one wants to read a gigantic text. It needs to be hitting to a point, and it needs to sell a meeting or a free resource, not an offer. What do I mean by that? You need to sell them every step of the way in the conversation why they should give you your time, their attention, their time and attention first. Because if you cannot get their time and attention, they're not going to give you their money. So get their time, get their attention first, and that's why you have to become a salesman in the DMs as well. You're selling them on why they should jump on a meeting with you. You're selling them on why they should watch a free resource. Why? What's in it for them? So that's number 3. Number 4, it needs to incentivize a response. Again, what's in it for them? Why would they respond to you? What's in it for them? So ask yourself these questions, then proceed to do outreach. Boom, boom, boom. Social profiles optimization. So, social profile optimization. First off, the first level is being perceived as a real human. So, your account needs to be set in a clear manner. It needs to be optimized. It needs to be, you cannot have a logo of your business on your account and doing outreach from it. You need to be perceived as a real human. People want connectivity. So, second step is being perceived as an authority. And that means social proof, educational content, all of that. Things that showcase that you're an authority, you're an expert at what you're talking about. And then 3, it's clean and clear profile picture. No one wants to see pixels. You know, they need to be able to see your face. Number 4, bio description must indicate what we do and who we do it for. Number 5, we need to have a call to action on what action they should take once they come to their profile. Easy. Whether it's a DM, go watch a free training, claim your spot, enter my newsletter, whatever the call to action you have, it needs to be specific to you. What do you want them to take? That's number 5. Number 6, you have to include the relevant links to move them through the funnel, and the accounts must have at least 6 to 12 lifestyle posts, because it's not all about business. They need to see how you live your life. So number 8, you must have highlights around testimonials, results, experiences, and then YouTube funneling if you have a YouTube channel, which would be a game changer for you. Hopefully that makes sense so far. Now, a small insight that I want to share with you guys, which is gonna blow your minds when it comes to outreach. You would change how you're approaching each conversation. All right? So sit tight and enjoy. So I got an insight recently where we must understand that everyone in the market is spamming the same kind of DMs, and people's resistance is through the roof. They have very high sophistication. They can see right through your bullshit. Everyone using the same claims, the same offers, the same everything. Everyone looks the same, like copycats, you know? So for you to stand out, you need to be able to differentiate yourself by personalizing the messages you send and make it tailored to each person, which I know it's time consuming in the beginning, but after volumes, you're gonna see a drastic improvement, which in the beginning is very time consuming, but after volumes, what you're gonna be able to do is you're gonna be able to see drastic improvement. All right? So from opener to booked call, you gotta understand what is happening. What are they thinking and what are they going through in the process? What are they being exposed to in the conversation they're having with you? So due to market sophistication, for anyone to buy anything, they need to go through the following. And this is not based on my study or my personal beliefs. You know, this is Google. They published a study saying that people need to go through 7 hours of interaction across 11 different touch points in 4 separate locations before making a purchase decision. What does that mean? 7 hours of interaction. For example, this is a form of you spending time with me, right? This is hours of interaction. They need to interact with us and spend time with us for what's equivalent to 7 hours. That means in the DMs, on calls, in content. Content is the biggest leverage that you can use because they're gonna be spending time with you without you physically being there. So you put it once, and then all of these people are spending time with you. Like this video that I'm making right now. Everyone who watches this video is spending time with me. So the second point is across 11 different touch points. What does that mean? Touch points are different formats in which these people spend their interactions with us. Which means it is comments, likes, stories, reels, carousels, DMs, calls, emails, SMS, WhatsApp, YouTube videos, posts, any form of touch point. Every time you reach out to them in the DMs, that's a touch point. Every time they reach out to you, it's a touch point. Every time they like our stories, reels, carousels, content, all of that, it's a touch point. Every time we like their content, it's a touch point. That's why we nurture people. So all of these are touch points. The more you do them, there's public and private. There's something that one to many and one to one. One to one is DMs and calls. One to many is content. So that's how you want to think about it. And then in 4 separate locations, before making a purchase decision, they need to spend 7 hours of interaction with 11 different touch points in 4 separate locations. And those separate locations could be DMs, calls, YouTube, and email. And that's it. Those 4 places. DMs, calls, YouTube, and email. And obviously content. So to scale, you must have a predictable system where you put X amount of strangers through a process and get X amount of clients. What does that process look like? A process in a client acquisition system, it's a stimuli chain which will convert an input to desired output. So you have to stimulate people intentionally through a process. They need to be stimulated the right way before they become a client, which is the desired output. So a stranger, he is the input. So we input the stranger into a series of designed stimuli chain to become a client, which is the output. So by inverting the micro action chains that a stranger takes to become a client, we can create that stimuli chain. We can design it. We can be intentional. So here's our micro chain for outbound. Like when you're doing outreach, this is how it looks. You send a DM, they click on your DM, they view the message, they click on your profile, they see that you're legit, they consume some content, then they go and respond to that message, right? They go and respond to that message, they receive a VSL, they watch the VSL, they respond to the VSL, they click a button to schedule, they select the time, they provide the qualifying information, they watch the interviews, they show up to the call, they agree to the agenda that you set on the call, answer the questions 15 to 20 minutes, they listen to you pitch, they ask their objections, ask the questions, they get objections, They listen to you rebuttaling, answering their objections. Now, so they once you answer their objections, now they're convinced, and then they make a decision to buy. They click to pay. They fill out their card information, and then they press the button to pay. So this is a small example of how client acquisition is done. This is the sequence of micro actions that will lead to the macro action of them deciding to become a client. So once you create a proven, battle tested micro actions that you take a stranger into that sequence, and you know they're moving through that funnel for them to actually take that macro action of becoming a client, then it's only a matter of volume of how much people can I put into that system and push them through to get our dream clients. So this is how you scale an online business, whether you're a coach, an agency, whatever it is. This is how you scale it. It's simplified, but obviously it needs to be tailored to your own business. There's no business that's the same as anything else. You need to see, what do you like? Which kind of funnel do you like? Which platforms do you like? Do you like emails? Do you like written posts? Do you like long form, short form? Like, it just decides what's your strength. Like, there's no one single thing that works. All strategies work if you work, if the person behind them works. So that's why people are the most important aspect in the equation. So another thing that I want you to understand, guys, is once I understood this, it shifted my mindset on the whole game. Understanding what it takes to get people to buy will get you guys to approach this all differently, because it needs a combination of volume and quality due to the law of averages. Meaning, the more we do, the higher averages we have of signing a client. It's that simple. But once you have a system that works, in the beginning, obviously, the more you do will result in you signing a client, because you're gonna get better, you're gonna get feedback loops. But after you have a proven system, then the volume that you actually put is gonna be volume with quality. In the beginning, you don't have quality because you don't understand the game yet. You don't understand what's working, what's not working. And remember, I said the repetition of successful actions, removing what doesn't work. That's gonna take time and testing. So in the beginning, you need to be able to take action fast and test high volumes until you get feedback fast, and then improve on the system. So, because in the market, we have 1 to 10% of people that are ready to buy right now. And those people are problem aware, solution aware, and solution seeking. Because they fit those three, if we come and present the opportunity and do what's required for them to be nurtured and build trust quickly, and then move them through the sequence, then we're gonna sign these 1 to 10% of people. So apart from that, we have 10% of people who are unqualified or might never buy from us, right? And then we have at least 50 to 80% of people that we talk to. Those people are gonna need time to be nurtured, followed up with, and these people will sign in a month, 3, 6, 8, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Because these people, we need to move them through being unaware to problem aware to solution aware to solution seeking. And that's why once we're following up, we are always top of mind. Because we are top of mind, guess who they're gonna buy from once they are fully ready? Once they are solution seeking, they're gonna buy from us. Because we educated them on their problems, we educated them on how to solve their problems, we actually showed them, we gave them value, and we're top of mind, we're following up with them. And we also shift their beliefs. Because these people have beliefs at every single stage. They have beliefs. Oh, this doesn't work for me. Oh, I've tried it, it's not good. Like, whatever these people are telling themselves, they're convinced that it's true, and it's your job to shift their beliefs. That's why we use content and we use touch points. Hopefully that makes sense so far. Very interesting shit, guys. And that's why we need to be able to do more volume and higher KPIs, but at the same time, we cannot be spamming like everyone else in the market. It needs to feel authentic, and the prospect needs to instantly recognize, okay, this guy is different. He's not like another one of those. They need to feel through your messages that you send that, oh shit, this guy is different. They need to feel intrigued and excited to continue the conversation with us. And that's why, ask yourself, what's in it for them to continue the conversation? So, two interesting concepts, two sides of it. We need to be robotic with hitting KPIs and numbers and tracking them, which means this is the discipline aspect of things, but we need to be human, creative, and personalized when it comes to the touch points. And essentially, the first point of contact in the DMs decides whether these people continue the conversation. It's like the hook in content, right? In a video, if the hook is good, you're gonna continue the video. If the hook is not good, even if the video is amazing, you're not gonna continue. So in the DMs, the first point of contact, sorry about that. First point of contact needs to be on point. So that's why I do not want you guys to copy paste messages, let alone openers, for this specific reason, so we don't get banned. I know how much it takes to not copy paste but it's only gonna take time and be hard for a while, because after volumes of doing it, you're gonna get better and faster. And you will start picking up patterns in people and understand them better and read them better. So this will allow you to become better communicators. That's one, which also amplifies your marketing. And this is the whole game. I want you guys to understand that this is what it takes for us to have a working process, as opposed to everyone else in the space who's doing the same things and the same approaches, and we're not different. So this is from an outreach standpoint, if you're doing DMs. Now, to make your lives easier, create content, because these two systems are going to complement each other. So whatever data you get from outreach in the DMs, that would be extremely helpful. Meaning, negative responses, objections, wrong beliefs, anything that you're getting in the DMs, this is content that you're going to be able to talk about in content, which would get these people to shift their beliefs and actually listen and drop their guards. And you're basically handling their objections in content, so they're not going to give you that objection. So the whole game is human psychology, and I want you guys to engrave this in your minds, and trust me, the results are going to be completely transformative. Okay? So whenever you want to do outreach, make sure to have a clear mind. Ask yourself these questions to see what's the feeling behind each message you guys are sending. Ask yourself, what would they respond? How would they feel? And you would start to understand what to say and how to say. Because the whole thing, the whole thing when it comes to outreach is not stepping on people's toes or saying something at the wrong time. You have to be people's doctor, therapist, and build rapport to get them to tell you what's wrong. No one likes to feel inferior or bad about themselves, especially if you're telling them that head on. So instead, what you want to do is you want to ask them questions that will get them to realize on their own that they have a problem, and then relate that to sales assets or to booking a call. Remember what I said? You have to sell them on why they should watch. Okay, if you tell me you have a problem with outreach, then I'm going to tell you, hey, go watch this free training. Boom. That's going to solve your problem. So you have to approach the DMs from a place of giving, helping, and serving people, not from a place of need and want and money and cause, because people can sense that from the way you're speaking to them. If you're approaching it from a place of lack, they're going to sense that, they're going to know, it's going to be clear. And energy doesn't lie, man. Like, chasing never gets the results. But when you switch to, I generally want to understand that person I'm talking to, I want to be able to provide value, and I want to help them, then you'll come off as different. So we're actually giving them an opportunity to solve their problems, so they need us even if they don't know it yet. That's why it's your job to make them realize that they need your help. And you do that by identifying what's their pain points, by asking the right questions. So simply that's it. So make this your outreach holy book, if you will, because this is pre-sales, and sales is communication, and communication is human psychology and emotional intelligence. So hopefully this makes sense. What I recommend to make your lives even easier so far is, this is something that we do as well as for our Empire partners before we get into lead gen and anything else, which is identifying the inefficiencies that our ideal client has, writing them down, the client failure scenarios, and then writing how we want to solve them, the unique mechanism to solve them. And then we'd be able to, first off, create content around them. But before creating content to solve it, you're going to be able to ask the right questions to identify, okay, those are the problems that you have. This is how we want to solve them. Okay? And then you tell them, you want to jump on a call to see how we would solve them for you? Yes. You want to watch a free training to solve this specific problem? So if they're unable to generate attention, for example, if they're unable to close deals, if they're unable to, they have limiting beliefs and mindset, they're unable to hit KPIs. All of these problems that agencies and coaches have, for me, this is our inefficiencies that we look for, that don't allow them to scale past 50 to 100K. So those are going to help you a lot when it comes to outreach and content. The first aspect is going to help you specifically being able to identify in outreach, but the second aspect will allow you to complement outreach with creating the right assets that would solve these problems. So this is it when it comes to outreach. Now, a small thing to maximize how much you get out of it is basically this, and it's called nurturing and engaging with our followers, friends, stories, and posts if you're on IG and even on Facebook, and commenting and engaging on big public figures in the space, which gets you new eyeballs that will follow, like your content, and DM you. So quick story, guys. I commented on a post that Alex Hermosi did, and out of that post alone, out of that comment alone, I got like 5 people to follow me and reach out in the DMs. They want to connect, they like my stuff, they go watch my profile, they check my content just because of one content I did. So find out who are the big authority in your market, in your industry. Go and repeatedly comment on their content, engage with their content. This would get you people into your own world as well. You want to be able to target your ICP with the nurturing, and this is called the organic interaction system. So on all of these accounts, what you want to do is you want to like stories, you want to view people's stories, and you want to interact with their stickers, posts, comments, and public engagement, which is touchpoint. And out of like doing these, interacting with these people's stories will get you new followers, will get you engagement on your content, and will get you likes and interactions, and it will also get you inbound leads and DMs. Some people are gonna start a conversation with you if you're interacting with their stories. So after that, what you want to do is you want to send them a welcome DM and open a conversation on what got them to follow. New followers are easy. You have a way in. These people came to you. So it's like an indirect inbound lead. Okay? So you have to also send them a thank you DM for liking our content, engaging, whatever. And you have to respond and build a relationship with them in the DMs. Now, what that does is this will allow you to book at least 1 to 5 calls a week after you have enough dialed in system. So this is a small nurturing system that basically works hand in hand with the outreach system. After that, you want to dial into the content organic system, which is, I'm going to simplify on how to create content. It's very, like for me, it's easy, but I'm going to have 2 separate in-depth training as well that are going to go over this, but this is an overview of how it looks. So first off, you want to get clear on the type of posts that you want to do. What do I want to post? So for me personally, I post reels, and I get those reels from podcasts, meetings, stories that I personally record, sales assets, insights, whatever. Carousels, I take those from testimonials, client experiences, client results. I also post lifestyle posts, which is myself. And then I post stories, which are insights from me, client experiences, calls, stories, like whatever, different types of stories. Okay? So the content system, as you all know, it's basically top of funnel, which means awareness content, getting new eyeballs, getting people to know who you are. Middle of funnel, it's actually belief shifting and breaking down certain concepts on how to solve specific problems. And then bottom of funnel, it's actually the sales assets and the call to actions. You know, getting people to book a call, send you DM, whatever. So every piece of content that you put out must adhere to the following. First off, you need to have a clear brand guideline, brand image, and brand feel. You need to have the right color grading, editing style, titles, hooks, transitions, B-rolls, and audio, right? You need to have a quality of the image, and the audio must be top-notch, highest quality possible. And then everything we put out must be intentional. So ask, how will your audience feel when they watch or see every piece of content that you put out? How we want them to feel. So for me, let me show you. It's simple. The content that you want to put out, you want to target the correct ICP with it. It needs to speak to the right audience. So it's organic content. It's going to be IG, FB, and YouTube Reels and Shorts. And what I do as well on Facebook, what I'm doing is every transcript of the videos that I'm doing, I take them and I create a written format post and I post them on Facebook, because those, like on Facebook, written posts are the best. So on IG and YouTube, Reels and Shorts, that's it. And then on YouTube, you want to be able to shoot long form videos such as this one, which is called a sales asset. And this is supposed to build trust and authority in your expertise, and you showcase people how you break down. Because in a 30-second reel, you cannot break down how you solve a problem. You can give them a snippet of what it is, right? But a video like this, which is 10, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, you can actually break down in-depth concepts, which would allow them to understand the thought process of why you do what you do. So those 2 things, IG and YouTube Reels and Shorts, and then you have YouTube long form videos. What you do is you want to get ideas and topics from research, raw data, which is from DMs, from clients, from from your daily life, and from your content team if you have a content team. Obviously, if you don't have, you want to be able to do it yourself. And the simple system is like, okay, we ideate, we write it down, we film the video, send it to editor, boom, post it with CTAs if it needs a CTA, and then the sellers respond to all of the engagers that come from the content. So respond to inbound DMs from content with CTAs and DM new followers that we get from content. And this, once the system is dialed in and you have a huge personal brand, like not huge, gigantic, but you have a good following and you have a good engaged audience, you're going to be booking calls 1 to 5 a week from content alone. So if you have a masterclass, if you're promoting lead magnets, sending free trainings, people DM you, you're going to be able to book calls with them. So this is the content system, easy. Now for me, this is where I get my content sources. So from stories, I show like 1 to 3 times a week. I record myself during the day. I give an insight about my journey, my experiences, new lessons that I'm having. This is a story. This can also be turned into a reel or a longer form, medium form video, which means 5 to 7 minutes. It just depends on the story that you're posting. And then I also get from podcasts, from clients, from meetings with clients, with team members, with other entrepreneurs, long form recordings and sales assets, which means like a video of this. This video alone is going to be able to get me 10 to 20 short form content to post, which get me awareness, and then I'll send these people to YouTube to watch the full video, which is the whole game. Like, it's that simple. And then you create short form and long form videos from these pieces of content. So the process of creation for stories, average of 3 a week. I record the stories, cut it, post it on IG, and add the raw videos to the drive. This is our own internal process. The process of creation for podcasts, we have podcasts and testimonials on average one per 1 to 3 months. And out of each podcast, we're going to be able to get 10 to 20 short form clips. And out of each meeting or call or consulting call or training call, whatever it is, we usually have average of 4 per month. So out of that, you're going to be getting 5 to 10 short form clips. And then from long form sales assets, you're going to be able to get 10 to 20 to 30 short form clips. So you're posting short form and long form, which is amazing. You're getting new people, and then you're educating and you're building trust, and you're showcasing your skills in a sense, or your processes, or your systems, or your breakdowns, and you're shifting their beliefs. So the target of KPIs, if you're just starting out, for us, we're using 7 to 10 short form a week, which means average of 1 to 2 a day, and then we have average of 1 to 2 long form a week. So this is the process of my editor per week. He looks for 1 to 2 long form, he cuts the short form, and he edits them, adds them to the drive, we post them, and then after posting all of the short form, he edits and posts the long form clip as well. So yeah, this is basically how it looks. This is our internal content system that we're using right now, and we're gonna be able to scale that up very soon as well and add more people. But yeah, this is how it looks. This is the organic machine building, and you want to be able to build it for yourself and customize it to your own thing. But what I want to tell you is this: nurturing and building goodwill by providing value through your content and through your DMs. Free value content, which means sending sales assets that solve specific problems in the DMs. That's why you need to uncover the inefficiencies. And insight stories, checking who's watching them, gives us insights into who's interested as well. And we need to constantly be following up with these people. And ultimately, all of these, all of these systems, the organic systems, those will allow us to book a free action plan call with these people. So from a process standpoint, to stay safe from the platform restrictions, creating multiple accounts and spacing the time delay between messages, and having the account activity act as a normal human being, not as a bot, which means scrolling, interacting, liking stories and content of other people, and personalizing messages, and staying within the platform's limits for outreach, which means 50 a day after ramp up, will allow us to have a well-oiled machine that won't stop, and it will keep running, which will allow us to build more and more momentum in the business and create a pipeline of audience in the process. And we're going to have a lot of people to talk to over and over. Like month after month, we're building that pipeline and growing it. So we're going to have a bigger audience to tap into. And this is what you want to do. So yeah, this is the system that I implemented for our own internal team with ASA. And it's better if you have a team on your own, because realistically, you gotta understand how much time things take, and then how can you compress the time frames by adding more people to the team, which would help you accelerate certain processes. So by tweaking the whole process down, like by breaking it down this way, you will have much more clarity and efficiency in implementing the right simple processes to go to the next level. Now, obviously, like I said, this is an overview. I'm gonna have much more in-depth training videos going over each one and how it's being created that show you how it looks, and then I'm also gonna have another video going over the funnel and the end result of it. So hopefully you've enjoyed this training. Let me know in the comments if this was valuable. Let me know if you need help, and you can also book in a free call where I will show you how to implement this. I would give you a free consultation on how you can take that and implement it into your own business as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Go build your empire. Cheers.